Okay, we're ready to call the meeting to order. We're going to start off with roll call. Michelle Bauer-Bean,
Present.
Jody Muldell,
Present.
Geronimo McGeehan,
Present.
Paul Vieira, present. Mimi Kim is absent, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, 1 second. Can I get someone to approve tonight's agenda?
Jody, so approved.
Can I get a second?
Michelle Bauer, second.
All in favor by saying aye? Aye,
Aye.
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 okay. Any public comment? 1.3, invitation to address the board. Okay, can I get someone to make a motion to approve the consent items?
Michelle Bauer being so moved.
Geronimo second.
Okay, all in favor individually, Michelle Bauer-Bean,
Aye.
Jody Muldell,
Aye.
Geronimo Gayton,
Aye.
Paul Vieira, aye. Consent items have passed. Information session.
We're going to go ahead. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you everyone for making it. Colin is going to give some updates quickly, and then we'll move to the financial report.
All right. Well, happy New Year, everyone. So a few updates. First, as promised, our new websites have launched and are live. You saw a sneak preview last month. So they're all live, and feel free to go and check them all out. And a special shout out to Luis, who has done a lot of work in getting that up and running.
Oh, thank you.
I also we have a celebration. So sitting next to me, Dr. Real was just appointed as a board member for the UN Association of Orange County, which is an extraordinary honor and well-deserved.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
I also want to give a few updates. First one in Lake Elsinore. So in Lake Elsinore, right before we went on winter break, but after the past board meeting, we did go to the district for the vote for the charter. We were not expecting to be approved by the district. It was actually a very civil denial. They did not ask a single question in the public hearing. They did not ask a single question before voting. So we're not surprised based on our interactions with them. However, we are very confident going to the county because the county has shown to be very charter friendly, but also very interested in us in particular. And so I want to thank Michelle in advance for being the board member to come with us next week for the capacity hearing. And the public hearing will be on February 7th, and the decision will be on March 6th. So it's right around the corner, and we are very optimistic about getting approved at the county level. We also have a few other building-related updates. So last week, we had a tale of two city council meetings that happened to occur on the same evening. So the first one that went very fast and very positive, I will start with that. We, for the building project in Santa Ana that we have the bond under to expand, provide outdoor space, as well as a central office area in the back of the school, got unanimously approved, 7-0. So that was basically as good as it could have gone. And then we went to Costa Mesa for the approval of the Meridian building. And unfortunately, that did not go as well as we had hoped. The Newport Mesa Unified School District came out in full force and steadfastly opposed the project with the superintendent, assistant superintendent, staff, teachers, parents, students, all coming out. And it's very unfortunate because instead of really making it about what it should have been, which was about land use, and we got a full positive staff recommendation. They made it about a charter district political thing. And unfortunately, we didn't have the same close relationships in Costa Mesa that unfortunately the district did have. And so, but we will land on our feet. We have multiple contingency options that we are seeking out right now, both temporary that would be for this next August, as well as long-term options. And I actually have a meeting at one of the temporary options tomorrow. So we are not licking our wounds for too long. We're getting right back up, and we're going to find great facility, both short-term and long-term for Meridian. And then a quick update about the strategic plan. So we have completed our organizational diagnostic and have started the beginning stages of the strategic plan. And I want to share just a few quick highlights of the org diagnostic. First, as a positive, Attune Partners does these net promoter scores on different stages of the org diagnostic. And we received some of the highest scores in the culture related area of our students, our staff, and our parents feeling a sense of belonging to the school community that Attune has ever seen in any of the schools that they have done. And they've worked with over 200 different organizations. So that was something that I think we often take for granted. We know that that's a strength, but we didn't really know how well of a job that we're doing. So definitely a pat on the back there. But at the same time, we've identified a number of areas of growth, and some of them specifically are about academics. And so we have seen pre-COVID, we were seeing our scores steadily increase. We saw a drop, as did most schools and organizations during the pandemic, and we've stagnated since then. And so through this process, we are identifying specific items, whether it is curriculum related, data related, and so on, to make sure that we have a strong plan moving forward to get back to where we were post-COVID and beyond. And so really in a nutshell, that's where we're at in the strategic plan, but we're going to be continuing that process throughout the spring. And the goal is to have a comprehensive plan and presentation for this board at the end of the school year. So the last part, I'm going to hand over to Ms. Amaya to just share a quick bit about our teacher leader networks.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. So we are very excited because we just launched our Global Teacher Leadership Network and our Council Teacher Leadership Network. We have representatives, teacher representatives, and even some classified representatives from every school. And we're working with consultants from Circle Learning Institute now, no longer Circle Ways, and also from the ISSN to just really support our learning as a team and our steps forward as a team. Both groups of teachers are amazing. It was really great to be in that initial meeting because everybody's excited. They're either excited about council or they're excited about global, and they have a lot of ideas, and they really want to get them going district-wide. So it's a great group, and we're just really excited for the work that's to come from this great group of teachers, teacher leaders.
And that is our report. And for the principal reports, they're all on the agenda, but we're gonna skip the verbal presentation.
Thank you, everyone. So moving to the 3.3, the action items, I'm sorry, for the Icon financial report by Arturo.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Good to see you all. We'll do the financial presentation. We're going to cover a couple of things. First, we're going to touch base quickly on the OC schools first interims. So last time we met, it was between kind of LAUSD submission date and the OC submission date. So you guys ratified the LA ones. You saw the initial numbers for the OC schools. These are the final numbers. and they're pretty much right where we were at before, so no big changes. And then looking at the December financials, so budget versus actuals through December. So looking at the first interims for Heritage, as we know last time, we had some increases. ADA has gone up just slightly, so that was increased LDA and LCFF, as well as we did add some of the deferred employer retention credit. So that's being a big help for this year. And you received an additional check, employer retention credit in the beginning of this year as well. So revenues went up by about $372,000. On the expenditure side, though, we did update staffing, and Heritage had some increased staffing based off of what we were at preliminary budget and now at first interim. So we went up about $273,000. So kind of balanced off, but we were able to increase net income about $100,000 from our updated budget that we shared in August. So from 52,000 to about 152,000 for Heritage. For Condor Story, based off of through beginning of a little bit higher than what we had estimated when we updated the budget in August. So about 4.5 points, which led to some additional LCFF revenue. Similar story in terms of the employment retention credit. All the schools kind of got that, so it's a big help. Overall revenues are up just under 400,000 for Condor. When we look at the expenditure side, it had some changes in staffing as well. So we got some increases there. So overall increases in expenditures about 235. So still a nice increase, about 162. So their net income went up from 85,000 when we did the updated budget in August to 247,000 at the first interim. Palm Lane, their ADA actually went down a bit. So from our preliminary budget, we didn't do an update for Palm Lane because their enrollment was pretty close to what we had estimated. And so we still kind of see that here in the ADA, it's only a slight drop off. We estimated 275 in June. They're at 272 at the beginning of November. ADA percentage is a little bit lower, so that's why that dropped that down. But overall, we still had an increase in revenues, primarily driven by the fact that they got ACEs. And when we did the original budget, we knew they applied, but we hadn't gotten their final results, but they did get that. And the same thing, the employer retention credit, it's a nice bump for them. So revenues went up about 223,000. When we looked at salaries, a slight increase on the benefits. Salaries in total kind of washed out. We kind of moved some folks between different series based on current hiring. We did have some additional purchases. So expenditures went up about 247. So their operating income dropped from preliminary budget, but still healthy and over the 5%. So from 341 to 317,000. So they had room to be able to kind of increase expenditures. Looking at Vista Meridian, so this is one where our ADA went up a little bit, so we did have some additional revenue. They don't get any of that additional funds from the employer retention credit since they weren't around at that time frame. So their increase in the revenue is all driven by their increase in ADA of 161. And that should be trending up. I met with Principal Trent today, and he mentioned in the last month their ADA is about 163. So it's heading up, and anything we can do to increase that ADA will just be additional revenue at the end of the year. Looking at the expenditures, those did go up based off of our updated budget in August. We added an additional van driver. We updated the benefit actuals now that everybody had signed up for their benefits. And then, we did have some additional costs as we were looking for consultants for that new building. So their net income dropped from -80 to -137. With the news today, in terms of they'll be staying at the Santa Ana location for the full year, that actually saves you about $20,000. So this is closer to about -117, and then the fresh numbers. And you'll see the updated numbers when we do second interims in March as well. But it is a tough position, but with the low enrollment and with having a staff for all subjects, that's where you hit a rough patch for Meridian at this point. Okay. So those are our first interims. December financials, looking at the middle school first. So we're halfway through the year, so we kind of want to be around that 50%. And overall, they're on track. Books and supplies are above early year purchases and also ESSER. So you guys have a nice ESSER balance remaining at the middle school. And, Principal Summer is working hard on trying to expense all of it. So we generally only budget what's planned. There's been some additional expenditures, so that's why it's kind of trending above. I'm not concerned about it because we'll be able to utilize ESSER to kind of help cover that. So, you know, a good spot for the middle school. Their balance sheet, we're still going to updating that, but overall cash in banks at the end of December was about $4 million. Assets of 15.1, liabilities of 7.8, so total equity about 7.2 million for the middle school. Looking at Heritage, so this is one where we'll be updating at the second intro. We talked about it briefly last month when we met, where salaries are trending just above where they should be. We think that's really kind of making sure we're having the right percentages shared across the campuses with Heritage, Condor, and a little bit with Meridian, now that they're all in the same location. Benefits are, you know, on track. Books and supplies are above, but only about 52%. So that's starting to kind of trend back down to where we need it to be. And then, you know, 5,000 series looks really healthy, but there are some areas that are close to hitting their max, primarily PD travel. And it's one we've talked about with the principals and with admin. So it's, you know, an area everybody's aware of. Overall, though, on track for Heritage. Balance sheet. So at the end of December, 2.2 million cash in bank in the county. Assets of 28.4 high, but that includes the facility, which has a high value to it. You see that taken out in the liabilities as well because of the bond. So liabilities about 26 million, total equity about 2.4 for Heritage. Looking at Condor, on track across the board. This is where you kind of see, you know, in terms of the salaries, they're a little bit lower really than we kind of, they're on track, but they're lower than we would expect. So that's what I think we just need to kind of marry up the percentages that are being split accordingly. And we do updates at P1, which was submitted at the end of December. So that's updates that we've kind of instituted now. And then in April at P2, we'll make additional updates as well. Books and supplies is above track. Again, and I believe it's the early year purchases of loading up on items. So that's starting to trend down. Not as quickly as Heritage. You saw Heritage was under 52%. Here we're 55. But overall expenditures are at 43. So in a good spot. Balance sheet for Condor. So cash at the end of December in the banks and counties, 3.1 million. Assets of 24.4, again, inclusive facilities. Liabilities of 21.4. So equity about just under 3 million at 2.9. Horizon on track across, except again in the 4,000 series. We're looking to hopefully put some additional of these against ELOP, but overall they're in a good spot at about 43%. Their balance sheet's a little, you know, not as healthy, just under 675,000 in cash at the end of December. Assets about $1 million, liabilities of 285, so equity about 805 for Horizon. Palm Lane, on track across the board, which is good. Salaries 50.3 for classified, but that's on track. The 5,000 series looks a little misleading because it's at 30, but still on track. There haven't been any facility payments made through December. I know that's one that they've reached out to the district to start getting invoiced on. So we should see that updated when we look at January, if not February financials. But Palm Lane is trending correctly. Their balance sheet, so cash in banks and county total is 5.8 million. Assets of 6.9, liabilities of only 1, so healthy equity of about 5.8 million for Palm Lane. Meridian, classifieds above, you know, that's that additional van driver, looking at some additional staffing, but overall on track. You know, we'll be updating that when we look at the second interim as well for Meridian. Their balance sheet, this high number is loan cash that's in their name, so it's not necessarily, you know, cash that Meridian owns, but they have assets about 1.9. Liabilities of 2, because that takes into account the fact that this cash is loans from the other schools for cash flow. So their equity is currently negative, but that's expected. Even if we're projecting them to be positive at the end of the year, at this point in the year, they haven't received enough cash from the state because they get a couple of lump payments, but they don't start getting their monthly payments until February, March timeframe. But at that point, you kind of see this switch over. For Meridian this year, though, we'll see it stay in the negative as we're projecting a negative income at the end of the year. Outstanding checks. So these are the checks that are outstanding over 60 days. it's uploaded, so principal's gonna take a look at it. They can follow up with some of those staff to make sure they cached it, or if they need to get reissued, we can have that happen if they send an emailed request for you on that, and then the check register. Thank you. And are there any questions?
No questions? Okay. Moving on to action items. Can I get someone to make a motion to approve 4.1? The travel and conference attendance costs in the amount of 15,000 to include conference registration fees, travel, hotel and meals in accordance with our fiscal policies and procedures for attendance at the CCSA conference and the ISTE conference during the 2023-2024 school year.
Jody, so moved.
Can I get a second?
Geronimo second.
Any discussion?
Maybe for next meeting, it would be nice to know the complete cost and budgeted amount for, professional development, including all the travel. and conferences.
Arturo, could you get that for the next meeting?
Arturo, you're muted.
Yeah, I can pull expenditures of what's been spent to date. Any forthcoming ones, I need your help, Colin, or the admin team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And the percentage of the budget that's allocated to it.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. So all in favor by saying aye. Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Geronimo Gaten,
Aye.
Jody Mullendale,
Aye.
Paul Vieira, aye. Motion is passed. Can I get someone to make a motion to approve the 4.2, the 2023-2024, the School Accountability Report Card, SARC, for Vista Charter Middle School, Vista Heritage Global Academy, Vista Condor Global Academy, Vista Horizon Global Academy, Palm Lane Global Academy, and Vista Meridian Global Academy.
Michelle Bauer, so moved.
Can I get a second?
Geronimo second.
Any discussion?
This is an annual thing in January, needs to be posted by February 1st for each school.
Thank you. All in favor by saying aye. Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Geronimo Gaten,
Aye.
Jody Mullendale,
Aye.
Paul Vieira, aye. Action item 4.2 has passed. Can I get someone to make a motion to approve 4.3, the ratification of the 2023-24 first interim budgets for Vista Heritage Global Academy, Vista Condor Global Academy, Palm Lane Global Academy, and Vista Meridian Global Academy?
Jody, so moved.
Can I get a second?
Geronimo second.
Any discussion?
So these reflect the numbers we just went over on the financial presentation.
Thank you, Arturo. All in favor by saying aye. Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Geronimo Gaten,
Aye.
Jody Mullendale,
Aye.
Paul Vieira, aye. Motion is passed. Can I get someone to make a motion to approve 4.4, the 2022-2023 Vista Charter Public Schools Audit Report?
Michelle Bauer, so moved.
Geronimo second.
Any discussion?
Just want to share that unsurprisingly, it was clean with no findings. So just
Very
like we want to see in every audit report.
Very good. All in favor by saying aye. Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Geronimo Gaten,
Aye.
Jody Mullendale,
Aye.
Paul Vieira, aye. 4.4 has passed. Can I get someone to make a motion to approve 4.5, the 2024 Charters OC Consulting Agreement?
Jody Mullendale, so moved.
Geronimo second.
Any discussion?
This agreement is using some CTE grant funds that we've received to help put together some student internships and continue to build out our climate change leadership path. And Dr. Rial is spearheading this effort.
Thank you, Colin. All in favor by saying aye, Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Geronimo Gayton,
Aye.
Jody Mullendow,
Aye.
Paul Vieira, aye. Motion is passed for 4.5. Can I get someone to make a motion to approve 4.6, the VCPS OCC Consortium MOU for Vista Heritage Global Academy and Vista Meridian Global Academy? It's a lot of abbreviations.
Michelle Bauer, so moved.
Paul Vieira, second. Any discussion?
Yes, I just wanted to inform you, this MOU creates a consortium that includes both Vista Heritage and Vista Meridian Global Academies so that we can work on CTE pathways that bridge all of the grades between the middle school and the high school with some combined activities, clubs, competitions, and really cool programs.
Thank you. We'll take a vote. All in favor by saying aye, Michelle Bauer,
Aye.
Geronimo Gayton,
Aye.
Jody Mullendow,
Aye.
Paul Vieira, aye. 4.6 has passed. Brings us to 5.1, board comments. Okay. Colin, are we still doing a closed session?
We do not need to do the closed session anymore.
Okay, so there's no closed session tonight. So we're gonna move forward with adjournment. Can I
I
get
make
someone
a
to make a
motion
motion
to close
to
the
adjourn?
meeting.
Can I get a second?
Geronimo, second.
Okay, all in favor by saying aye? Aye.
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 Okay, tonight's meeting is adjourned.